We're going to do a 20-minute dynamic straight into static flexibility routine you can do at home as a follow along with me with no equipment to improve your mobility. This consists of 20 movements, 50 seconds on with a 10-second transition. Let's get started with some ankle stretches. So if you come onto your left knee and hold on with your left hand onto your right ankle, put your right hand on top of the right knee. We're going to do some circles, circling forwards and out. We're going to do 25 seconds on this right side, and then we'll switch straight to the other side. Switching over. So you're adding pressure with that top hand, closing off the angle between the top of the foot and the shin. These dynamic stretches are going to get progressively harder as we go through them. Okay, sit on the mat now. We're going to do a 90-90 to kneel. So you can have your hands behind you. You're going to have 90-degree angles at the knees. You're going to drop both down and then come up into a kneeling position, sitting down, swiveling over, coming up into a kneel. You can do this without your hands if you want. Hovering them out in front will be a little bit more advanced, so you could hover them out here as you switch. Really feeling those hips opening out, especially as you come up into that kneeling position. Should be pivoting over the ankle. Okay, we're going to lie on our back next. We're going to do some wipers. We're going to get the lower back released and the core activated slightly. So dropping side to side and keeping my knees at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to keep the opposite shoulder blade pinned down towards the floor. So if I'm dropping to the left, I'm keeping my right shoulder on the floor and vice versa. I'm not going to go all the way down, especially if I'm maintaining that shoulder contact. I can feel a nice rotation through the back. We're going to do an upward dog, hovering hips off the floor, into a downward dog, and when we're in the downward dog, we're going to pedal the feet 5 per side. So drop the hips, engage the glutes, then rise the hips, soften the knees, rise the tailbone, and then alternating heel drops 5 per side. Then you're going to drop back into that upward dog stretch, hovering hips, engage glutes, proud chest. Then back through to that downward dog, lift the tailbone, pedal heels 5 per side. And fit in one more of these pedals for 5 per side. Okay, next, we'll be in the press-up position. We're going to be doing a Spider-Man lunge. So take your left foot on the outside of the left hand, straighten up that back leg, turn and point the left hand up towards the ceiling. Return the foot. We're going to do the same on the right. So right foot on the outside of the right little finger, straighten up through that back left leg, turn and point up, and repeat. Important to straighten through that back leg to get that quad and hip flexor stretched out as well. And then on that front leg, we've got a nice glute and hamstring length. We're also opening out the chest. So it's a nice all-round one here, getting a lot done in one movement. Okay, let's work on a little bit of active flexibility of the hamstring and strength of the hip flexor. So if you hug your right knee in towards the chest, lift the left leg off, hold 2 counts, back down and repeat. So we're just going to do 2 count holds. We're going to do this for 25 seconds and then we'll be switching to the other side. Try and posture upright with your back. Quick switch, straight into the other side. Lifting the right leg up as high as comfortable. You should not be leaning back with the body when you lift. Okay, into a kneeling position. We're going to be doing alternating reaches. So hands behind, bridge, reach up and over, sitting back down. Bridge, reaching up and over the other way. So engaging the glutes as you lift the hips, feeling a nice quad stretch. I'm also stretching out the IT band and lats as I reach over. Let's get a little bit of focus on the upper body now. I'm going to do some shoulder mobility sequence. So hands behind the back, open the chest, draw an angel wing overhead, but then drop the hands back behind. Close the elbows off, open back up, draw that angel wing back around, wing up the center of the back, and then relaxing forwards. So elbows together, open chest, angel wing round, keeping open chest position, closing off, dropping the chin, lifting the head as you open out. Okay, next we're going to do something called a kick sit. Takes a little bit of coordination, but you'll get the hang of it. So you're going to be on your toes, hands out in front. You're going to get rid of your left hand and kick the right leg through. Return back to all fours. Get rid of the right hand, kick the left leg through. As I kick through, I'm rotating, tapping my glute on the floor, just on one side. Okay, next, we're going to do a frog to pike. So if you sit into a deep squat for the frog, you're going to stand into the pike, folding in half, sinking into the frog, knees out, chest proud. Trying to posture upright as you come into that frog. Folding down, actively drawing your chest into the quads as you come into the pike. Okay, that's 10 dynamic mobility stretches. We're going to go for 10 static now. If you fold your mat up, come onto your left knee, right leg out forwards, we're going to drop into a hip flexor stretch. Now if you want to make it a little bit more advanced, you can hold onto that back foot. You could also just put the back foot on a bench or a sofa. This is also known as the sofa stretch, like this. You should feel some stretch down the hip flexor and quad. Keep the ribs drawn in, glute tense on the back left leg. Don't worry if you can't hold your foot. You can just keep good glute tension on that left side and still feel the stretch even if you're not holding onto the foot. Okay, we're switching sides. So this routine consists of 10 dynamic movements. Dynamic stretch just means there's movement within the stretch. And we're going to do 10 static stretches now. So static, stationary, just holding the muscle in a lengthened position, allowing the body to relax. Try not to overarch the lower back. If anything, draw the ribs down and in as you tilt the pelvis under, engaging the glute on the back leg. Okay, I want you to lie on your back on the mat. We're going to hit the glute and the piriformis with a nice release. Cross your left leg over your right knee. Take your right hand, hold on to your foot. Take your left hand, reach through that gap you've created between your legs. You can either hold onto the hamstring or you could even reach further holding onto the shin. Once you've got that, try and relax, exhaling, dropping your head and shoulders back towards the mat. And hopefully you can feel a stretch on the left upper outer glute and piriformis area. Your piriformis is a muscle that runs from that long bone, your femur in the top of your leg. It crosses up through the hip into the lower back. So if you imagine if that's tight, that's going to pull and potentially cause some lower back discomfort. So this stretch can actually be really good for releasing some lower back pain. And switching, so take your right leg over the left knee, left hand holding onto the foot to stop it slipping, right hand reaching through that gap either to the hamstring, or if you're more flexible you could even reach all the way to the shin, and then you're going to relax your head and shoulders back towards the mat, feeling that stretch in the glute piriformis area. It's very hard to stretch your piriformis without also partially stretching your glute. That's why I'm mentioning them both together. Okay, we're going to stretch out the front of the shoulders and the biceps. So have your hands back behind you and just elevate the chest, pulling the shoulder blades together, and then you might want to scoot your hips forwards until you feel a stretch down the bicep or the front of the shoulder, or a bit of both. Try and keep your shoulder blades retracted back, proud chest position. You might be able to go a lot further than me. You could also make it more intense by crawling the fingers a little closer together. This is a really good one though for many calisthenics movements. Even doing ring exercises like doing deep ring dips, this shoulder mobility is really important. Or in this calisthenics series, which this workout is a part of, we do a lot of reverse plank and reverse marches and tabletops, so this is a great stretch for those. Okay, let's come into a kneeling position. I'm gonna go pretty wide, so actually you're gonna come wider than the mat. You're gonna reach your hands out and then drop the hands behind the head. Okay, lying face down now. Put your left arm out at a right angle. Look towards your right. You're gonna push and lean over. So I've got a right angle at my left arm. I'm dropping the shoulder of my left side onto the mat. I'm just lifting the right leg up and over the left to add a bit of weight into the stretch, pushing off that right hand. Getting a pec stretch. Switching sides, so right angle with the right arm. Dropping that left leg over the right. Keeping the right ear pressed towards the mat, the right shoulder pressed down onto the mat. Getting a good pec stretch. Pushing off the left hand to add a little bit of rotation to the body. Okay, we're going to go into a hurdler stretch. If you kick your left leg out forwards, we're going to hook the right foot behind. Show you from a different angle. The bigger the gap between this center space here, the harder the stretch is going to be. So if you want to make it more challenging, just open that out further, posturing upright and leaning your chest forwards over this quad. You might feel a hamstring stretch here or a hip stretch on this back leg. Okay, let's switch sides. So right leg out front, taking the left leg behind, and then increasing the distance between this quad and this leg.
If you want to take your training to a new level, consider joining my TPT virtual studio. This members area gives you exclusive access to an extensive follow-along video library not available on YouTube. It also includes written workout plans you can do at your own pace, taking the guesswork out of training and optimizing your results. Save yourself from expensive gym memberships, long travel times and average results by joining the virtual studio. To check it out, follow the link in this video's description after your workout.
We're going to be finishing this routine on the next one with a low squat hold, putting all this mobility work to good use. It's not just to test your flexibility, but it's actually a good way to improve your squat depth, is just to hold a low squat for an extended period of time. So you're going to hold the lowest squat position you can do with your heels on the floor, knees pushed out, and an upright posture. So I've got my knees pushed out so they're not collapsing in towards the big toes. Got my arms out for some counterbalance, and I'm not rounding my back. I'm going to posture upright, chest up, looking forwards. Don't worry if your squat is a lot higher up. Just sit as low as you can without excessively collapsing your tailbone under. Almost there. And that's it. That's the routine complete. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me know in the comments below, how did you find it and where in the world are you following along from? I really do love to hear that. Don't go anywhere. Why not try one of these 2 videos right now? And I'll see you again soon for another one.